supplies a lot of methanol to our racers here in the Pro Division, but they also supply all kinds of other fuels for racing on the motorsport spectrum. And they will actually blend fuel for you. So if you've got a special blend that you want to run, they will put it together for you. But anyway, they are our sponsors for the podcast. And these Wednesday night, we do a lot of work as we prepare to go to Depew with the sponsors, the Depew Men's Club, as well as our racers that we're enjoying interviewing them and getting ready for Depew. The Tuesday night podcast is on motorsports of all type. So we do midgets, sprints, stock cars, you name it in the motorsport spectrum, and we'll have some users of the PowerMist fuel on to be able to talk with them. And don't forget the special that's going right now with TDKS Sports. So go to boatracing.dkdssports.com for $29.99. You'll sign up and get 3 months worth of boat racing online. So again, boatracing.tkdssports.com. All right, if we could get our turn judges out, our safety boat out, and all of the judges to the judges stand, please. Mark Griskowitz and Bailey Berkland, you are our turn judges. You see Jake Edmonds is already here. Thank you, my man. He will be our flagger for the day. And we'll be ready to go with 8 more heats of racing. So we get our safety personnel out. Remember, divers, we are going to start with 500 hydro, so we will need you to be tanked up and ready to go. What that means, fans, is the 500 hydro is actually a Kevlar capsule hydro. The drivers are strapped in with a 5-point harness. They carry oxygen with them. Some use it full-time. Others put it and tape it to their legs so they can grab it if they go upside down. When I said the divers need to tank up, literally we have divers with air tank on our safety boat, and if one of the boats were to go upside down, the safety boat would immediately rush to that area. Our diver would go into the water underneath the boat and ensure that our driver can get free of the harness and drop down into the water and be safe up on the surface. Now these guys, again, are strapped in, they're sitting in a seat. They also will have a radio man on the beach. That is mandatory, that they have radio communication. When you see these boats come out, you'll see why, as they have a canopy over the driver compartment, and the windshields on these are not very big, and so you can't really see from side to side as well as what you should be able to. But because of the safety aspects of the capsule, we use the capsules and then use a radio man to let them know who's alongside of them, who's where, how much time is left on the clock, but give them a real sense of what's going on the course. Once the 3-minute gun goes off, they have 2 minutes that they have to stay on the race course. In other words, they can't cut through the middle of the course. They have to go around all the buoys for the first 2 minutes. Once the 1-minute gun is fired, then they can go across the buoy, across the middle of the course, and not go around the buoys at either end. And then they'll come up for the start just like normal for all of our other classes. As we get ready for 500 hydro, get them ready, guys. 500 hydro, you're going to go off first. 500s, get them in the water, guys. Get them strapped in. 500s in the water, strapped in, please. Now these boats require a different life jacket than what the open boats that you've been watching yet today. The open boats have a very thick collar around the neck of the driver, which allows that driver, if he's unconscious, to be turned so that he's face up in the water before our safety personnel can get to him. Once that gets done, that driver will get turned and be able to be floated out, and then our safety personnel can grab him.
Working radio? Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Yep. Good job, Braden.
Yeah, good job.
I'll finish the story on the life jacket. The open cockpit boats use that heavy life jacket, where the capsule boats have more like a vest that you would use for water skiing. They don't need the extra in the float of the life jacket. What happened a number of years ago, before we really understood what that life jacket was going to do, Howard Anderson out of Edmonds, Washington, went upside down over in the first turn at Depew, and he was upside down for quite a while, and everybody was just holding their breath. And finally we saw the orange helmet peek out from underneath the boat, as Howard, relating the story later, said that he got tangled a little bit into the straps, but the real issue was the life jacket was trying to do its job and floating to the surface. The problem was the bottom of the boat was between him and the air. And so he was able, he said, at one last push out of the boat and got free and was able to surface. And once we learned what that was about, we changed the life jackets for the capsule boats. Again, these drivers with radio communication to the beach. We also, with our safety director and our referee, Jeff Lake, has a radio that he pushes a button. If we had an accident on the water, he can push a button and a red light shows up on the dashboard of all the other drivers, and they know they have to come to an immediate stop at that point. So we're ready to go with heat number 1 of 500 hydro, 125. Work them down to the water, please. Mark, go to the first turn, please. Mark, go to the first turn.
Put his headset on. And put his headset on. Tell him to...
And put your headset on, please. There he goes. Mark Griskowitz and his son Braden, both of them raced earlier today. First turn, Mark, first turn. Now we see Ike Yoder getting into the H4. That will be the black, red, and yellow as 125s. Get them ready to go, guys. You're right after our Now let's go through the entries for the 500 hydro. Ray Bradford out of Copish, Michigan. He'll be in the blue 96. The M9, which will be a blue and purple out of Mount Morris, Michigan. Jim Kurtz in boat M9. Doug Hall will be in the red and yellow and white, number 51 out of DeKalb, Missouri. Ike Yoder will be in the Dan Kurtz, the black top cowling, the red side, and the yellow sponson of Ike Yoder from right here in White Pigeon, Michigan. He'll be in the H4. The yellow of Nick Shakeshaft out of Sarasota, Florida. He'll be in boat 25. Eric Vanover in the Thurlby Automotive entry. He'll be in the M14, the black and green out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Those are drivers eligible for the first heat of 500. And again, the world record, 128 miles an hour. Jim McKean and Sean McKean at one time owned every hydro kilo record there was to set. All right, as soon as we get our turnboat down into the second corner, we'll be ready to go. We'll give you 30 to the 3 here shortly, guys. We see Jim Kurtz getting down in his boat. All right, guys, we're getting ready to go with 500 hydro. We need to be strapped in, ready to go. We understand that Doug Hall and Jim Kurtz are now in their boats. We get them strapped in. The crews are working with them to make sure that the harnesses are tight as they get ready for heat number 1 of 500 hydro. 125s get them to the water. 125s, you're right after the 500. Then we'll go to the 1100, first heat of 1100. Then we'll run back through again with 500, 125, 1100 runabout, and finish the day with the third and final heats of 500 and 125. All right, give us a wave if you're not ready. Give us a wave if you're not ready. Come on, guys. All right, guys, 30 to the 3, 30 to the 3, heat number 1 of 500 hydro. All right, there it is, guys. And we see Eric Kennedy on the water. Around the ice floater now. Eric Vanover on the water, Ike Yoder in the red and black and yellow. Now, here's the interesting part. Ike Yoder is in a 440 two-cylinder Rossi motor instead of a 500 as other drivers are going to be running. Ike Yoder still not able to clean that motor out yet. Trying to get that thing to burn off that extra fuel. Ray Bradford right in front of you. .125's getting ready to roll, guys. 125, you're up next. Looks like Ike Yoder is going to pull off the course. Not able to keep that running. Well, that's too bad. I would like to see what that 440 of Dan Kurt's entry would be able to do. You want speed, you're going to get speed. Let me tell you, as Jim Kurtz now slows off on the backstretch. Trying to clean that motor out. Yep, he's going to end up shutting it off as he goes dead in the water. No, he's still trying to get it to clean out. I don't think it's going to make it. Ray Bradford. That big yellow, Nick Shakeshaft on the outside. Doug Hall on the inside. Nick down the backstretch, but look at Doug Hall. Boat just jumped out of the corner as Doug Hall, now he slows off as Nick Shakeshaft gets out front. Doug Hall, then Ray Bradford and Eric Vanover. Nick now comes out of the bottom corner, looking up to complete lap number 1. Doug Hall in that second spot, with Ray Bradford third. Eric Vanover for that 4th spot. Shakeshaft now continuing the lead out of Sarasota, Florida. Oh, Doug Hall just blew it up. The prop was doing the plowing of the water. When that big plume of water shoots up, it means that engine is seized up or the lower unit let go. Nick Shakeshaft, your leader. Ray Bradford in that second spot now, along with Eric Vanover for third. But look at the speed out of Nick Shakeshaft. Nick works down in Sarasota, Florida in the marine business. He sells yachts down in the Sarasota area. One more to go for Nick Shakeshaft. Well, I'm an old guy and I can remember the Shakeshaft name back in the 40s and 50s. As his dad, Henry Shakeshaft, traveling with Nick and helping Nick as Nick out front of Ray Bradford and Eric Vanover. The bottom corner to come for Nick Shakeshaft out of Sarasota, Florida. Your winner in heat number 1. Well, we started with 7. We ended up with 3 on the water. as Bradford and Vanover finishing in the second and third spot. Well, Nick Shakeshaft was in the lead going into that corner. Doug Hall pulled up alongside of him, but never really got around him. And then as they came about the middle of the backstretch, it let go on them. All right, 125 hydros. These are single-cylinder motors, but they'll still run 80 miles an hour. As Cooper Thompson, who finished on the podium in his very first race in a 125 hydro, driving a TBR. His dad built the boat for him. Cooper Thompson in the orange and black number 14. Ethan Fox out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. He'll be in the blue and orange number 20. Rex Bear also in a black and orange in boat 44. Nick Witelka out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. He'll be in the gray and orange number 888. David Jones in the clear deck boat with the yellow cowling out of North Windham, Connecticut in the David Tenney entry, the D10 with David Jones at the wheel. Also the David Tenney entry, the 10E, a silver boat with the turquoise cowling out of Diamond Lake, Illinois, Brian Palmquist. Out of Fishers, Indiana, boat 83, a clear deck boat, Brent Simmons. From Pensacola, Florida, in the white with a Dayglow green cowling will be Mackenzie Helston, a young lady out of Pensacola. In the black and yellow, out of Bristol, Indiana, boat 192, will be Brad Dykert. I guess Brad had scratched. Robert Trollian, out of Trenton, Michigan. He's driving the Mike Wyned W97. And we understand that Ashley Wilson had also scratched. Ashley was one of our service people, active service duty. Again, thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Brianna. As we get ready to go with heat number 1 of 125 hydro. Again, it'll give you a chance to get over to the concession stand. Don't forget, the Boy Scouts are out in the crowd, and they're selling a ticket for $10. It has a $1,000 win with $450 for second and $100 for third. So again, our concession stand's still open, fans. If you get over and grab a cold drink and a sandwich, the Legion would certainly appreciate that, and so would we. And don't forget, for $29.99, fans, boatracing.tkds.com, and you can find boatracing.tkdssports.com. You'll find it. $29.99 for a 3-month special of having every national championship on your television this summer. So again, boatracing.tkdssports.com. 30 to the 3, 125s, 30 to the 3, guys and gals. $1,100s, get them to the water, guys. $1,100s, get them to the water, please. Again, these are single-cylinder motors, so if you've got a problem with one of the cylinders, it's the whole motor. But again, 80 miles an hour out of these little 125. Cooper Thompson heads to the water. Cooper, 14 years of age. He just turned legally of age to drive a 125. And Grandma is already pacing right here at the judges stand. And Mackenzie Elston on the water. Nick Witelke in the 888. Rex Bear in the Underdog 44. Ethan Fox in the 20. Red Simmons in the 83. Mackenzie Helston going across to the backstretch. Well, we got Ethan Fox, I believe, down in that bottom corner. But he's inside the buoy, so I think we're going to be fine. All right, as they come around that bottom corner, some of them are going to want to go outside. Some of them want that inside rail. Here they come up for the start. 5 seconds to go. All boats were legal. A good start. Well, Nick Witelka loaded it up at the start, but Rex Bear out front. All boats were legal. Bear, Palmquist, David Jones. A 3, David 20 entries. Along with Cooper Thompson. Palmquist on the outside in the silver and turquoise boat. David Jones in the clear deck yellow, and Rex Bear in the orange and black. Your top 3. The first and second place boats out of the David Tenney entries. David Tenney, longtime champion, now put Brian Palmquist and David Jones in. Get them ready, guys. 1100 hydro. Get them ready. You're up next. 1100 runabout. Get them ready. Again, 1100 runabout. You are up next. Cooper Thompson moves himself in to the mix of the third place as Cooper trying to go to the podium once again. As Palmquist and David Jones out of the David Tenney trailer as they are out front with Palmquist. Number 1. David Jones will finish in the second spot. Cooper Thompson trying to pick up that third spot as Cooper now comes out of the bottom corner. Like to have another podium finish as Cooper for the third spot. Rex Bear will finish fourth. Brad Simmons is a lap down.
Mackenzie Helston.
He did it. You see how wet he got in that first turn? Oh, about pumped out. Right in here. W97. Yeah, okay. Right there. Somebody wait. They said there's somebody over there by the jet. Is there somebody way over there?
Yeah, there's one right by the...
Where?
He's right by the...
Who is that?
What's going on?
Yeah, he sees them.
I'm not sure who it is.
97. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, David Tenney entries of
888.
Brian Palmquist and David Jones finishing 1-2, with Cooper Thompson finishing in the third spot. The fourth spot went to Rex Bear out of Menasha, Wisconsin. David Jones out of North Windham, Connecticut. Palmquist out of Diamond Lake, Illinois. Cooper from Fort Pierce, Florida. And Rex from Menasha, Wisconsin. And the fifth spot to Pensacola, Florida's Mackenzie Helston. All right, now we're going to have a little fun as we watch the crazies. Andrew Kurtz. Andy and his wife of 2 days. Bailey Kurtz in the M8. John Peters in the R777 with Kelsey Egan riding along. The M44 of Andrew Thurby with Mackenzie going to jump out of the 125 Hydro and into Andrew's boat of the M44. That'll be the green boat. The R22, the purple boat of Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman, his fiance, will be running in the 1100 runabout. And our thanks to Jersey Holman, as Austin and Aaron will be driving the Jersey Holman entry. Jason Saylor will be driving in the Thurlby Automotive M16 with Sydney Helston sitting behind. Ray Bradford going to take a brand new rookie. Andrew Emmons will be in the M96 with him. And Derek Gessler out of Jordan, Minnesota, and Marty Thayer will be in the Clear Deck C99. So 1100 runabout, get them ready to go, guys.
Who's in the first race you've ever been to, Sue? Who? Running with Ray Bradford, his son.
Little Ray Bradford doing double duty. He was in the 500 Hydro and now jumps into the runabout and takes Andrew Emmons for his very first boat ride at close to 100 miles an hour. Brother Jake is right here on the flag stand,
Get Disneyland.
and I'm sure that gets a little bit squeamish. You know, I was always more nervous to watch my brother race than it was for me to race. And watching my nephew now race gives me a little bit of the willies. But what a great sport we have in boat racing. You can't find the friends that you've been able to find in boat racing. It take a long, long time. They gather you in instantly, and you are part of the group. Don't forget, the Boy Scouts have the drawing coming, and that drawing has a $1,000 first place with $450 for second and $100 for third place for a $10 bill. So help the Boy Scouts out for their summer camp. They'll be doing the drawing here shortly. Got more than a few of the 125s that we had to pull in while we're doing that. 1100s, get them ready to go, guys. 1100s. With the new design of the boats, it really changed what 1100 runabouts were about. Because in the old days, and I'm talking in the 1960s and 70s, probably around 1985 or so it changed. But when you were the deck rider, that's what they called you in the 1100 runabout, which was known back as F runabout. And when you were the deck rider, it literally meant you were going to get out onto the deck. And in fact, a lot of the 1100 runabouts had handles out on the deck for the deck rider to grab onto. And what would happen is they would go down the front straightaway and go to the corner, and the deck rider would crawl over the right shoulder of the driver and splay themselves across the deck, face down, and leaning as far as they dared over to the left to be able to get that boat to stick and turn. And then when they got out of the turn, 30 to the 3, guys, 30 to the flip, 30 to the 3, 30 to the 3. But what would happen is they would come out of that turn, and the deck rider would have to gingerly crawl back inside the cockpit, only to do it when they got to the bottom corner again. So quite a change, as now the riders will sit right behind the driver. But I want you to watch. When the driver lets off the throttle a little bit, watch the head of the person that's riding, and it'll tell you how much centrifugal force there is when these guys are running at speed. All right, there it is. Harper.
With my phone, Granny's phone.
Harper Thompson. Harper, you need to come to the judges stand with Grandma's phone. Harper Thompson, please come to the judges stand with Grandma's phone, please. Well, there are the crazies. Billy Williams Kurtz, and Andy Kurtz, husband and wife, right there in front of you. Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer. Jason Saylor and Sidney Helston. Casey Egan riding along with John Peters. Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman, fiancés. Ray Bradford and Andrew Clemens. All right, coming up on the 3-minute gun, the great smell of methanol. $500s, get them in the water, guys. 500 hydros to the water. 500 hydros to the water, please. Again, 500 hydros to the water. Well, they're on the clock with about 25 seconds to go. Watch this start. Two heads bobbing along, and they're not fishing, let me tell you. Well, maybe they're fishing to bring somebody up and jump the gun. Here they come. Jason Saylor, Andrew Thurby, John Peters, Derek Gessler. Peters on the inside now. But look out, it's Jason Saylor on the outside. Down the backstretch they go. Andrew Thurby. Andrew Thurby in that top spot now. Peters and Jason Saylor now fighting it out. Andrew Thurby out front of Jason Saylor. That's Peters. Took out the buoy as Andrew Thurby out front. Jason Saylor and Sidney Helston in that second spot. Something amiss for Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer. As Andrew now swings it wide. Mackenzie Helston. Well, you love this. The both boats are Thurby Automotive boats. And Mackenzie Helston is riding with Andrew, and Sidney Helston is riding with Jason. Mama Song is right here, hands on her head, watching her son as Mackenzie Helston and Andrew Thurby, Sidney Helston and Jason Saylor. 1 mile up to go. Andrew Thurby in that third spot. Andrew Kurtz and Billy Kurtz in the third spot. Jason and Sidney down the backstretch. They'll split Ray Bradford in that corner. Side by side. Watch this corner. The two of them. They'll come up for the finish. Look at this. Andrew Thurby on the outside takes the run with Jason Saylor and Sidney Helston for second. Andrew Kurtz will finish third. The first spot will go to Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman. Helston and Aaron.
Get the first two,
Well, that was interesting. You had Mackenzie Helston has the bragging rights over her sister, Sydney, for the first heat, as Andrew Thirlby and Mackenzie Helston finish out front of Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston. So Mackenzie's one up. Let's see in the second heat if Jason can find the speed and finish out front of Andrew. But what a ride between those two out of the Thirlby Automotive trailer, as Andrew Thirlby, again with great speed as he showed in the 700 runabout, comes back and shows it again in the 1100 runabout. As he and Mackenzie Helston, your winners, with Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston for second, and Andrew and Bailey Kurtz for that third spot. Aaron Pittman and Austin Vanover for fourth, and Ray Bradford and Andrew Emmons for the fifth spot. Well, we want to thank all of our folks that are on our stream as we end up with some great comments. Deb Lesh, thank you, dear. That was an awesome race is right, and they really are taking it to it. So again, we welcome you to take a look at our podcasts later on Tuesday and Wednesday nights with PowerMist, our sponsor for both of those podcasts. 500 Hydro, get them ready to go, guys. 500, you're up next with Nick Shakeshaft, just really showing some great speed. We understand that Doug Hall has scratched out and will not run the second and third heats. Unfortunately, he's just had some real engine issues the last couple of days, so we'll see where Ike Yoder is able to get that 440 of his running as we get ready to go.
I got pictures.
But again, our thanks to Rick and Steve Fales of PowerMist, who supply a lot of the methanol to our drivers, along with blended fuels to your satisfaction. They're the oldest independent distributor in the country for racing fuels. So if you need lubricants or additives, or if you need your own fuel blended for you, see the folks at PowerMist.
Point, show them a lot of love. And we will.
Kevin Ellison on our wave runner. Thank you, Kevin. You've been at it all weekend. We appreciate it, bud. His brother Mike Ellison and his dad Richard both served over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we appreciate all the help that they've given us.
He's asked if he's still on for the 5 July. Steve is asking. Yes. 5 July. So you go ahead and talk about that they'll be on.
Yeah, in fact, on one of our podcasts on the 5th of July, Steve and Rick Fales will be our guests, and we'll be talking all kinds of things about racing and fuel blends and all the rest that goes with it. So we call it the PowerMist Hour, and we appreciate the help that Rick and Steve have given to us as we get ready for our second Tuesday night podcast. We start at 9 o'clock. And like I said, some of them are 45 minutes. Some of them are an hour and a half. It just depends on where we go. Kind of an unfiltered and unedited podcast. Talk about anything and everything racing. Again, that's the PowerMist Power Hour, both Tuesday and Wednesday nights. 9 p.m. Eastern. You can find it on TKDS Sports and across probably another dozen different sites on Facebook. It's also on iHeartRadio's podcasts, so you can pick it up there if you're in the car or on your personal device. So join us on Tuesday and Wednesday nights for the PowerMist Power Hour. 500s, get them rolling, guys. We got to get you going. 500s, we need to have you in the water. If you're not ready to go on the upper turn, the first turn area, give us a wave if you are not ready. We have to give Ray Bradford a little bit of time. As we understand, Ray just jumped out of that 1100 runabout after running the first heat of 500, and now he's going to jump back in to his 500 capsule boat and run that. So he is a busy, busy young man. Harper Thompson, if you'd come to the judges stand. Oh, she already did. Thank you, Harper. Grammy says thank you as well. All right, second heat of 500 with 30 to the 3, guys. 30 to the 3 for 500 hydro. Again, Nick Shakeshaft was your winner with the second place boat. Whoop, hold it up, guys. Hold up. Nick Shakeshaft in the yellow 25 is your heat winner in the first heat, with Ray Bradford finishing second and Eric Vanover finishing in the third spot. So those are your drivers with the points. We'll also look for Jim Kurtz to see if he can keep his running in the M9. We understand Doug Hall again has scratched. Ike Yoder in the Dan Kurtz entry, the red, black, and yellow H4 will be back on the water, along with Eric Vanover out of Cincinnati, Ohio, in the Thirlby Automotive entry, the M14. As soon as we get Ray strapped in, we'll be ready to go. Anybody down on the bottom turn? All right, 30 to the 3, guys. 30 to the 3 for heat number 2 of 500 hydro. Again, the world record at 128 miles an hour. 125s, get them ready to go as well. 125, back to the water, please. The H4 entry of Dan Kurtz, that runs a 440 two-cylinder Rossi, but still gives great speed. He's given up a little bit of horsepower, but a whole lot of weight goes back in his favor. Instead of a four-cylinder motor, it's only a two-cylinder. All right, we get ready to go. The 3-minute gun. Eric Vanover heads to the water. Well, watching the 1100s that we had here only bodes well for Depew, as I think we'll probably have 10 or 12 of them, because we're going to add in Joe Johnson to that mix with the Rich Fuchelin entry, that big 6-carb, 6-cylinder that Rich Fuchelin has been building with the original Von Stevens. As now Jim Kurtz fires up. Nick Shakeshaft. Looks like Ray Bradford having some trouble over there trying to clean that motor out. Along now with Nick Shakeshaft loaded up. Oh my. Your winner has loaded that motor up, the big yellow boat. He's trying to turn it a little bit to get a load on that engine to break it free. All right, as we get ready to go. They're early. Well, the winner of the first heat finds himself all the way in the back, as that motor just will not clear out for him. He's trying to get a load on it so that he can bring it up to speed. Boy, caught. He finally got it to clean out. Well, he's still got a bit more in there to go. Got a couple of guys with some trouble out there. We'll have to wait to see if we had any gun jumpers. Eric Vanover. Well, that puts Eric Vanover out front as boat M9 had jumped the gun. So he will not receive points for this heat of racing. Well, that's going to mix it up real good, as our first boat winner unfortunately found himself loaded up and not able to run. And Eric Vanover now. Eric finished third in that first heat. So a first place for Eric would give him 625 points. And it'll be interesting to see the third heat come. Ike Yoder, that motor is not running at full power either. As now, Jim Kurtz who has been disqualified. The lead boat has been disqualified, the M9. That puts Eric Vanover out front with one more lap to go. Ike Yoder, if he can continue to run, I'm not sure I see Ike out there. Up, he's sitting over in the backstretch, trying to get that motor to clean out. If he can get around, he could score the second place. As Eric Vanover out of the Thirlby Automotive trailer will finish out front and be the only boat with points. As Eric takes up the 400 points, and every other boat is either sitting on the water or has been disqualified for having jumped the gun. So we got a few boats to tow in, folks. As your winner, the M14 of Eric Vanover. 125s, get them ready to roll, guys. 125s, get them ready to go. Your winner in that first heat was Brian Palmquist with the second place boat of David Jones out of North Windham, Connecticut. And third went to Fort Pierce, Florida's Cooper Thompson. Those are your top three as we begin for heat number 2 of 125. Well, unfortunately for Nick Shakeshaft, he won that first heat. Hopefully he can get back and run that second heat, or third heat, I'm sorry. Go get him. As Nick finished out front in the first heat, now Eric Vanover with a first and a third has 625 points and will be the point leader going to the final heat of racing for 500s. All right, 125s, you need to be ready to go.
Jason scratched. Jason did? I don't know why, but.
We'll run 125, their second heat. Then we'll run the second and final heat of 1100 runabout, and then we'll come back and run the third and final heats of 125 hydro and 500 hydro. Well, this will give Ray Bradford a little bit of a break, as Ray now will have the 125 the 125s to be able to rest up a little bit, and then he'll jump in the 1100 runabout and then come back with his third and final heat of 500 hydro. Have Ike Yoder to tow back in. Once we get Ike in, it's kind of interesting. The river actually runs from our left to the right, but Ike floated upstream as he went into that shadow of the woods over there. So fans, we've still got the two heats of 125, 1 heat of 1100 runabout and 1 heat of 500 hydro. So 4 heats of racing left to go.
300 scratch, 300 and 192.
Another good one.
11
1100 runabout. M16 is not going to be running. Jason. Did not start yet.
Serous did not have very good luck this weekend, did he?
Cooper said he hooked it in that 22 first.
What happened to Jason?
We don't know. He went there to find out he scratched. He said maybe Sydney said, I'm not going back out. Better hurt something. Poor thing.
I don't know if I trust him. Ride with Austin?
Hell no, I've seen Austin too much.
Not in a million years.
I guess I don't trust my life much.
All right, 125. Get him ready to go. As soon as we get Ike into the shoreline, we'll be ready to go. Don't forget, I need our teardown folks after the last heat of racing to come to the judges stand, and we need to begin to take down the fence. The orange fence has to come down, and we need help at the judges stand to load it, to take the clock down, and the easy up that we have for the judges stand. So we'll need all the help that volunteered, and if you didn't and you want to help, please come. We'll make quick work of it.
Oh, looks like they're ready to do raffle.
One of you ladies, like, raw the winner.
30 to the 3, 125s, 30 to the 3.
I did not. There's our chief scorer.
Pull mine out. Pull mine out. Pull mine out. No, pull
And
mine
then
out.
if you would announce it,
Come on, Kelly, do it right by me.
this will be for third place
Okay, for $100, right?
for $100.
All right, our third place in the drawing with the Boy Scouts for $100 is Sean Fabian. Sean Fabian. And a 269 area code, so he's local. This one will be for $450. For $450, Ron Schrader. Ron Schrader. And now the big one for $1,000. The winner for $1,000 is Jim Swinehart. Jim Swinehart for $1,000.
Thank you. Everybody.
I hope you help.
All right, 1,100 runabouts. Get them ready to go, guys. 1,100 runabouts. Be ready to go.
Thank you.
You bet.
1,100 runabouts. Get them in the water, guys. Brett Simmons coming out on the water, along with Mackenzie Helston. Cooper Thompson on the water. Nick Kwatelka in the 888. waiting to see the Brian Palmquist and David Jones, David Tenney entries to come to the water yet. Robert Trillian, there's David Jones, and there's Brian Palmquist. All right, they're scattering themselves across the river. Oh boy, you got a couple of guys fighting it out for that outside line. Settle that one in as they come up for the start now. They're a little early. Oh, wait and call it on the water. Cooper Thompson. 500 hydros. 500 hydros. You're going to be next. 500 hydro. You will be next. Again, 500 hydro. Get them ready. 500 hydro. You're up next. Cooper Thompson out front. Brian Palmquist and Mackenzie Helston, Rex Bauer, David Jones, Robert Trillian. All right, 500, change up, 500. We're going to go 1,100 runabout. 1,100 runabout, you'll be next. 500, stand down as 1,100 runabout will go up next. Again, Cooper Thompson out of the bottom corner, out front. Brian Palmquist, Mackenzie Helston, David Jones, Rex Bauer, Robert Trillian. Cooper out of Fort Pierce, Florida, a 14-year-old young man. Out front of some wily veterans in Brian Palmquist, David Jones, and Mackenzie Helston for that second, third, and fourth spot. One more to go for Cooper Thompson, Mackenzie Helston. I'm sorry, Brian Palmquist, David Jones, Mackenzie Helston. Robert Trillian now. Nick Witolka. Rex Bear slows off as he's loaded up that motor. And he's loaded up the single cylinder that he's got in that motor as he's trying to clean it out. Let some heat build up in it. And he finally got it to clean out. Nick Cooper Thompson, your winner. Palmquist for second. David Jones for third. Mackenzie Helston fourth. Well, won't the final heat of .125 be fun to watch? As now Cooper Thompson with a first and a third, with Brian Palmquist with a first and a second, and David Jones with a second and a third are going to be your top point drivers as we head to the final of 125 Hydro. Got one driver trying to finish. That's Nick Watelka trying to finish that heat of racing.
There are no boats to tow in.
And no boats to tow in. 1100 Runabout, you're up next. 1100 Runabouts, you are up next.
Did they change the power head on Jason?
Well, the winner in that first heat of the 1100 Runabout was Andrew Thurby with Mackenzie Helston. She's going to jump out of the 125 and jump into the Runabout with Andrew Thurby out of the Thurby Automotive Trailer. As the second place boat was Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston running along with. And the third spot went to Andy and Bailey Kurtz with Ray Bradford and Andrew Emmons and Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman.
That'll be an interesting third heat, won't it? Did Jason unscratch?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, I understand that the Thurby Automotive team changed a power head in that little bit of time to be able to put Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston back on the water. So as soon as we're ready to go, we'll have the 1100 Runabout, and we'll go 30 to the 3 here shortly. We're going to go 30 to the 3 right now. 30 to the 3, guys. 30 to the 3. Guys and young ladies. A lot of married couples, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancés, all over the board on this one.
All crazy.
And all crazy is right. All right, here we go with the 3-minute gun. Will be fired here shortly. And you will be off and ready to roll. Here it comes, guys. Well, we'll see if John Peters can make it back out on the water. 500 hydros, get them in, guys. 500 hydro, in your boat, please. 500 hydros, strap in. Three more heats of racing, fans. 3 more. Now we see Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer back on the water. Andrew and Thurby and Mackenzie Helston out there. We'll look to see if John Peters and Kelsey Egan can make it back to the water. We understand that John and Kelsey will not make it back. We see Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman on the water. Waiting on Andrew Kurtz and Bailey Kurtz yet to come. trying to get that thing fired up. $500, guys, you need to be strapped in now. 500 hydro drivers. In your boats, please. Again, 500 in your boats, please. Here they come for the start. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, 1 minute gun. All right, the 1 minute gun has been fired with less than 60 seconds to go. Now for the start, as Andrew Thirlby and Mackenzie Helston, your winner in the first heat, with Jason Saylor and Mackenzie's sister Sydney in the second place boat. All right, here they go down into that bottom corner now. All right, here they come for the start. 5 seconds to go. Good start. Jason and Sydney on the outside. Andrew and Mackenzie on the inside. All boats are legal. It was a great start by Andrew and Jason. As now, look at this, the two of them again, side by side down the backstretch. Andrew pulling a little bit of a lead now. Jason has to take the long way around. Andrew on the outside. Jason now moves inside. Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer in that third spot, with Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman for fourth. Andrew now pulling a big lead. Andrew now stretching it out. Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer in the clear deck C99. As Andrew Thirlby and Mackenzie Helston out in front of Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston, with Gessler and Thayer in third, and Austin Vanover and his fiancee Aaron Pittman in the fourth spot. One more to go. Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston. Derek and Marty. Austin and Aaron. Now it's just the bottom corner to come through and half the straightaway for your winner overall in both heats. What a weekend it's been for Andrew Thirlby, as Andrew, your winner. Jason Saylor and Sydney Helston coming for the second spot, with Derek Gessler and Marty Thayer for the third spot. And there's Derek and Marty Thayer. Well, Mackenzie's going to have bragging rights on Sydney for a couple of days, as her and Andrew Thurlby back-to-back heat wins. And Austin Vanover and Aaron Pittman, fiancés, finish it off. $500s, you need to be strapped in, ready to go. We don't have any boats to pull in. Cooper Thompson, your winner in that second heat, checking in with Grandma. That is a great family. Cooper is the 5th generation driver out of the Eldridge family. Great young man, 14 years old, just now eligible to run 125 hydro, and takes a win. He finished on the podium up at Pleasant Prairie. 500 hydro, get him in, ready to go. 500, you are on the clock here shortly. Our entries, Ray Bradford in the boat 96 out of Copish, Michigan. Jim Kurtz in the M9 out of Mount Morris, Michigan. Ike Yoder out of White Pigeon, Michigan in the H4 Dan Kurtz entry. Sarasota, Florida's Nicholas Shakeshaft. He'll be in the yellow 25. Eric Vanover out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He has a first and a third now and is the point leader in the M14, the Thurlby Automotive entry.
Man, I am getting beat up.
I know, they're just coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden. These little gnats.
Jeff Lake. They got a little boat out there.
What the hell?
They have a boat out there, a little tiny motor boat.
I'm doing it in my head.
I don't see it. They stopped it. You saw it too? Yeah. It was like a little red boat. Like an RC boat. Yeah. Oh, okay. As long as there's nobody in it.
Again, 500, you need to be strapped in, ready to go.
It's an RC, Jeff.
Yeah, I see it.
If you can hear us on the other side, you have an RC boat out in the water, and it could very well get run over and cause an accident. Please bring it off the water. The RC boat on the other side, please bring it off the water. 30 to the 3, guys. 30 to the 3 for heat number 3 of 500 hydro. 2 more heats to go. 500 hydro, and then the third and final heat of 125 hydro. All right, guys, coming up on your 3-minute gun here. 125s, as soon as that 500 is off the beach, you need to be in the water, please. There it is, guys. Well, Eric Vanover heads back to the water. He has the point lead, the black M14 out of the Thurlby Automotive trailer. Ray Bradford now heads to the water. Now you see Eric Vanover going through the bottom corner. He is your point leader. Ray Bradford trying to get that thing to go over the top, and it just doesn't want to plane out for him. Ike Yoder now fires up. Jim Kurtz now. And there's Nick Shakeshaft. Yeah, we've got Ike Yoder, Nick Shakeshaft, Eric Vanover on the water. Jim Kurtz went out. I do not see him. Oh, there he is, trying to clean out his motor. White flag is being shown. Jim Kurtz just collided with Ike Yoder in that corner. As Jim Kurtz and Ike Yoder were trying to tiptoe through the corner, as we had one driver not at full speed, and it ended up that Jim and Ike collided in the corner. I don't know how much damage has been done to either one of them, but Ike finds himself sitting over in the corner. Well, that's not going to make Dan Kurtz very happy with his son Jim hitting the boat that Dan owns. But look at Nick Shakeshaft now. Nick down the backstretch takes the lead in the corner. Let's see if Eric has anything to hold him off. No, he doesn't. And Eric is slowing down. Eric needs to finish. Eric Vanover needs to finish as Nick Shakeshaft, if he has the win in this 800 points, as Eric now finally got that motor to clean out. Oh boy. That could have been ugly. If it holds on the water the way it is right now, Eric Vanover will win by 50 points. .125s, get them ready to go. We will tow the boats into the middle. So 125. 125s, we are going to hold boats in the middle since you are the last heat of the day. As Nick Shakeshaft, your winner. Jim Kurtz for second. And Eric Vanover with the third place will take over the overall win. Eric would have 825 or 850 points, where Nick will only have 800. All right, 125s, you're up next. We're going to pull the two boats into the middle, so you need to be ready to go right now. Well, we'll take a look at the points for you. As Brian Palmquist with a first and a second has 700 points. Cooper Thompson with a first and a third has 625 points. And David Jones has 525 points. Those are your top drivers in terms of points as we get ready for the third and final heat of 125 and our final heat of our race here at Constantine. So again, Cooper Thompson out of Fort Pierce, Florida in the orange and black. Number 14 out of Fort Pierce. Ethan Fox out of Council Bluffs, Iowa in boat 20, orange and blue. Rex Baer in the orange and black, number 44. Nick Watelka in the gray and orange, 888. David Jones in the clear deck with the yellow cowling. He'll be in the David Tenney D10 entry. Brian Palmquist, your point leader, he is in the 10E, also a David Tenney entry. Brett Simmons out of Fishers, Indiana, boat 83. Mackenzie Helston, who has a fourth and a fifth place finish so far, out of Pensacola, Florida, Mackenzie Helston. Robert Trollian out of Trenton, Michigan, he'll be in the Mike Wynette W97, the white and red boat. All right, 125s, get them ready to go. As soon as we get the two boats into the middle, we will fire, set you up on the 30 to the 3, and then fire the gun for the last heat of the day. Again, all of our volunteers for teardown, as soon as this heat is over, please come to the judges' stand to help to tear down the clock, gather up all of the material for our judges' stand, and we need to get the fence started to tear down. And we're going to ask our turn judges to grab what they can. How about you, Paul? His radio is either going or mine is. I couldn't understand him.
I see Ike is the only one I see. Big Paul, is there somebody else?
Ray Bradford down. Bottom turn.
He was in the water, so Mike take that one too, because they're right beside you.
What about the bottom turn? Is Ike Bradford somewhere in there?
Behind the
I think you said it.
30 to the 3, 125 hydro, 30 to the 3, our last heat of the day. 125 hydro with Brian Palmquist, your point leader, followed by Cooper Thompson and David Jones. So the silver boat with the turquoise cowling, the orange and black, and the clear deck, and the yellow cowling are the top 3 drivers as we get ready to go with our last heat of the day. Fans, we appreciate you sticking around with us. Our thanks to all of our turn judges and as well as our judges right here at the judges stand. Just a great group to work with, let me tell you. All right, there it is. The last 3-minute gun of the weekend. Cooper Thompson heads to the water. Mackenzie Helston and Nick Witelka on the water. All right, we get ready to go. We see Palmquist and Jones and Cooper Thompson. Look at where they're at. They're just kind of chasing one another down through the bottom corner. They're not going to let one another get away from each other. There it is. The 1-minute gun has been fired. Oh, they're early. All right, into that corner now. We'll call it on the water, and then we'll wait for our turn, for our judges, as Palmquist out front. Your point leader is out front with Cooper and David Jones. Trillian chasing him down that backstretch. Out of the bottom corner now. Palmquist out of Diamond Lake, Illinois. David Jones in the second spot. Ethan Fox, Cooper Jones, Cooper Thompson, Robert Trillian, and Rex Bear. But your point leader is out front. Brian Palmquist And David Jones out of the David Tenney entry with Cooper Thompson in that third spot. Trillion in fourth as they come out of the bottom corner. Palmquist out front. 2 down, 2 to go. David Jones for second. Cooper from third. Ethan Fox. Trillion. Rex Bear. Fred Simmons and Nick Watelka. Palmquist now will look for the white flag with 1 more to go. David Jones continuing in that second spot. Cooper Thompson, those were the top 3 in points coming to the third and final heat and are going to finish in that direction. It'll be interesting to see the points between Cooper Thompson and David Jones for that second spot on the podium. Well, unfortunately for Ethan Fox in boat number 20, he jumped the gun and will not receive any points. Brett Simmons and Nick Watelka, but look at this. Ryan Palmquist, your winner, and will take the title with David Jones. Cooper Thompson for third. Unfortunately, Ethan has been disqualified. Trillion will take the fourth spot. The fifth spot to Rex Bear. Quite a run for Brian Palmquist out of the David Tenney trailer. David, longtime champion, now gives the driving duties to Brian Palmquist and to David Jones. Well, fans, we thank you for being here. We're all done now. We appreciate our EMTs, and we're grateful as my friends and family will ask, how were the races? And I say they're wonderful. We're all going home. Nobody's staying in the hospital. Again, congratulations to all of our winners, and we will see you in a few weeks at Depew, Illinois for the APBA Mod and Pro Championships on Lake Depew beginning the 24th of July and will run from Tuesday afternoon until Sunday evening. My thanks to TKDS for all the streaming. Don't forget the special that we have going, $29.99 for a 3-month trial, which will give you all of the nationals this year, plus you can go back and watch other races that have been archived into the system. So for $29.99, go to boatracing.tkdssports.com and sign on, and then you can become part of the affiliate program as well, and we will credit you back 10% for anybody that comes through your site to sign on to DKDS. It's the end of the day, Kevin. But again, our thanks to PowerMist for their sponsorship for our podcast. Tuesday and Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern. Join us. We have a great time with it.
Thank you and good night.
Well, that was the voice of Ray Rada, hydroplane Holy Buckets himself. I'll tell you, he's had a long weekend and that tongue is in a knot. And he got it. The TKDS Sports Network here. We appreciate you watching. Remember, go to boatracing.tkdssports. Take us for a test lap. Get it for $29.99 like Ray was telling you. You can get everything you want and watch it. We've been here playing in Constantine today for the title series. You can go to boatracing.tkdssports or find us on the social media where you can get your affiliate link and all that sort of stuff. From us here at TKDS Sports, we are going to wrap up the weekend. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. We're out for here.
And 1 minute to go for the start. These drivers will begin to work over there on the backstretch. And they'll try to find a spot that gives them comfort and gives them some speed as we get ready to go.